We're back at it. It is Wednesday, the 12th day of December 2018. Good morning to you. Good morning, America. Oh, that's right. I can't say that. It's a registered copyright of the American Broadcasting Corporation. Well, what the heck. They'll sue me anyway. Hi, everybody. It's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan Kuntz, your host on this 12th day of December. Good morning to you. Beautiful morning all over the Wenatchee Valley. Roads a little slippery in some locations. In fact, right out of the box, if you haven't gotten the word already, via the automated phone call, text, or email, whatever the case may be. Wenatchee schools on a 2-hour delay today. There you go. All schools are running 2 hours behind their regular schedule. This is the Wenatchee School District only. Buses, obviously, running 2 hours behind. No preschool this morning, but they will have afternoon preschool. No daycare this morning. Because, well, the staff's got to get there, and they can't get there quite yet. Breakfast will be 2 hours late. The Wenatchee Valley Technical Center morning classes are canceled, and all students will be released at their regular time. So a shorter school day for the Wenatchee School District. Again, Wenatchee only, 2-hour delay both for all the schools and the buses on this Wednesday morning. We had some very strange weather yesterday. Yesterday's high was 37 degrees. And it happened at 11:56 last night. That warm front that they were predicting came. It just came a little bit later than the National Weather Service was expecting, and it came last night. Normally the afternoon high is the afternoon high, not in the evening, but that's what happened. In fact, right now outside of our studios, it is 32 degrees, right at that freezing mark, which is why a lot of the side streets are a little on the slippery side. Passes, once again, are a mess. We'll talk about the passes in just a few minutes. We could still get some more snow, but it's going to be a warm day today, well above normal. We'll be in the 40s for the afternoon high. We've got the weather forecast coming up. We got the news, lots of news to get to. Sports, including highlights of last night's Moses Lake Eastmont wrestling match at the Eastmont Gymnasium, something that we covered live here on the NCB Live channel. All the other stuff that you're used to will be coming your way, including the obscure holiday birthdays, today in history. Everybody is entitled to Mike McNulty's opinion. You notice the hoodie, the sweatshirt, courtesy of Darci Christoferson, the administrator of the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival. That means Darci is in the house to talk all things Apple Blossom. The 100th festival is coming up here next year. I can't wait. So Darci will be on in the second half of the program. And for the first time in about a week, we have a gorgeous morning. Look at that shot from Wenatchee Heights. Let's take you around the valley with our Valley View cameras. And we'll start out with whatever 3M decides to throw up there. There you go. That is the monitor. I almost said Steins. That's the monitor camera. Again, it's letting in more light than is actually out there. Sunrise isn't until 7:40, so we're still 36 minutes away from the sun actually coming up. But the lenses and the cameras are designed to let in as much light as possible, which why it looks kind of cool, doesn't it? That's a really good shot of the Wenatchee Valley from our cross camera. That's a 4K camera. That's super high definition. That's an incredible view there from Wenatchee Heights. It's a lot easier to look at it through a camera lens than to drive to it. Trust me on that. That is our cross camera, which always is a part of our regular morning feature. Camera 3, I don't know where we're going. We're going to go see what's happening up there in the Lake Wenatchee area. That is the Nanapoc Ridge camera. That swath of white that you see in the upper right-hand corner is where those high voltage power lines run from areas. Oh, Kashmir. Okay, we just got confirmation that Kashmir is on a 1-hour delay. We saw that on Facebook, but it wasn't something that was officially posted. But now we understand Kashmir schools, you're on a 1-hour delay. And if you're just joining us, Wenatchee schools are on a 2-hour delay. We understand the rest of the school districts are running on time. So that's Nanapoc Ridge. Lots of snow there. And if you haven't gotten your Christmas tree yet, I mentioned this last week, that's a great place to go to get them. It's $5 well spent, especially with the price of Christmas trees this year, way up. Camera 4. Let's go say hello to Billy Goat. Good golly, that's a beautiful shot. Let's just look at that all day. We pan that a little bit to the north so you can see a little bit more of the Medhow River as it empties into the Columbia at Pateros. You can see Brewster. That is just an incredible view. Mount Kalispell is in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, and if you are not familiar with that yet, we have discovered that Mount Kalispell is in Canada. So good morning to Canada. That is just a stunning view. Beautiful blue skies today. However, it's not going to last, I'm afraid. As the day progresses, the clouds will be thickening up. This is going to be a kind of a quiet day, all things considered, on a series. There's just like a parade of storm systems, a big low pressure ridge out the Pacific that's just rolling through the Pacific Northwest. But today is going to be our nice, quiet, settled day before things get active again from the National Weather Service. Let's take a look at your forecast, and it looks something like this. Clouds will be thickening up today as the day progresses. Clouds will be rolling in. Maybe some light snow. I wouldn't bet on it. Outside of that, things are going to be fairly well. Look at that, 44. That is about 10 degrees above normal. So whatever snow has come down and is going to be hanging around, going to be gone by the end of the day today. Slight chance of light rain mixed with snow at times tonight, 34 for the overnight low. So we're not going to get to the freezing mark. The clouds will be holding the heat in just a little bit tonight. Thursday, whatever precipitation we get will be in the form of rain tomorrow, and once again, very mild for the middle of December, a high of 43. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy, 33 for the overnight low. Friday, we have another storm system paying us a visit. Mostly cloudy on Friday, high of about 40. Could see a rain-snow mix on Friday night, which could make the Friday afternoon commute a little on the dicey side. Morning rain mixed with snow at times on Saturday. Outside of that, partly sunny and a high near 39. We go to Sunday, again, a rain-snow mix. Again, these highs, high on Sunday of about 38 degrees. So look at those afternoon highs, 44 today, 43 tomorrow, 40 on Friday, 39, 38, 40, 40. All of those are above normal. Our normal high temperature this time of the year is right around 32 or 33 degrees, and that's going to be our overnight lows, not our afternoon highs. So there's your forecast from the National Weather Service. Let's take you up to the mountain passes where things are not getting any better at all. Live shot of I-90 right now. Chains are required on all vehicles unless you have all-wheel drive on both directions on I-90, and it's the whole 9 yards. They got rain, they got snow, and they have sleet. The three things you don't want to drive in. Snow and slush on the roadway. Again, chains are required on all vehicles except all-wheel drive. And by the way, in case you didn't know this, and I mentioned this before, it's the Washington State Patrol. The Washington State Patrol is the decision maker on what kind of traction devices you have to have in your car. Stevens Pass, it's the same deal as I-90. Ugh, what the heck is that? Chains are required on Stevens Pass, again, unless you have an all-wheel drive car, and that is both directions, compact snow and ice on the roadway, and it is snowing on Stevens Pass. And by the way, there's a winter storm warning that's coming your way. I'll talk about that in just a little bit. Blewett Pass, wouldn't you know it, chains are required on Blewett. It's snowing very hard, we're told this morning. Blewett, compact snow and ice on the roadways. So it doesn't matter whether you, of the big three, whether you take Blewett and then I-90 or you take Stevens, doesn't matter. Chains required on all of the major mountain passes, the big three, as we like to say, Blewett, Snoqualmie, and Stevens. Snow accumulations of 3 to 5 inches today in the mountain passes, an additional 7 to 11 inches tonight, an additional 5 to 9 inches possible. On Thursday, gusty winds, by the way, so watch out for blowing snow. There's a winter storm warning that's in effect now until noon on Thursday. 3,000 feet is the elevation where things get dicey. Heavy snow above 3,000 feet, which is right at the summit of I-90. So they're thinking anywhere between 6 to 10 inches, maybe 12 inches of snow today on I-90, upwards of 18 to 20 inches of snow expected on Stevens Pass and on Blewett Pass. Chains are required across the board on the big three with a winter storm warning. There's 3 levels: winter advisory, winter watch, and the most serious is the winter storm warning, and that's what they have posted for the Cascades until noon tomorrow. It is 9 minutes after the hour. We're going to take a quick break. It was a busy news day around here on Tuesday. What made headlines on Tuesday? We'll wrap it up for you in 1 minute. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, live this morning from Studio 9 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel.
I came here to CVCH because one of my friends referred me. When I met Dr. Jocelyn, she was just amazing. She connected with my son, and it meant so much to me. He opens up so quickly because she just sits there and plays with him. It really is like going to see a friend. It's really great to walk into somewhere where you feel welcomed and you feel accepted and respected. It just feels like home.
Hey everyone, did you know that the NCW Life channel is North Central Washington's go-to source for news? No matter how you prefer to view your news, NCW Life has you covered. Watch the evening news weeknights on TV, stream it, read it at ncwlife.com, or catch the latest news by following us on Facebook. Stay informed with local news, sports, weather, and shows featuring local people and events. NCW Life, a reflection and a spotlight of the communities we call home.
Just about 11 minutes after the hour on this Wednesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, I'm Dan Kuntz. Clear skies, 28 degrees outside of our studios. Sunshine this morning, clouds this afternoon, highs in the lower 40s. Let's take a look at your Wednesday morning news. If you're just joining us, 2-hour school delay for all schools in the Wenatchee School District and a 1-hour delay for all schools in the Cashmere School District. So all schools in Wenatchee 2 hours behind their regular schedule. That includes buses as well. No morning preschool for the Wenatchee School District today. There will be afternoon preschool. Breakfast will be 2 hours later. If you go to the Wenatchee Valley Technical Center, morning classes have been canceled and students will be released at their regular times. This is the Wenatchee School District we're speaking of, and we understand now Cashmere is on a 1-hour delay this morning. Speaking of schools, the topic this morning, security. The police department issued rifle removed from a secure safe at Wenatchee High School earlier this year will now be returned to the school. The motion was made to return the school's resource officer's firearm, and the board voted unanimously to return it at last night's school board meeting. Superintendent Brian Flonis ordered the weapon removed last January due to concerns from the school board. Following a letter to the school board requesting the gun be returned to the high school, Wenatchee Police Chief Steve Crown made his case.
In a crisis like that, you want to have access. It doesn't mean that one of these implements are going to be used. You want access quickly, and you can rapidly respond to the threat. We know that looking at all the incidences across the nation, that there is definite factors in which rapid response reduces casualties and other threats. So that message has been pretty much voiced by everybody up here. Our goal is to improve safety. I request that the rifle be placed back in the high school.
Wenatchee High School Principal Eric Anderson said the district's Parent Advisory Committee also overwhelmingly wanted the rifle returned to Wenatchee High School.
And anytime you talk about a potential weapon being in the school, there's definitely some concern around that. We understand that. And I think that the parents, after having the conversation and understanding the reasoning behind it, all said, we understand, although we don't like the thought of having to have it, you know, when you think back 10, 15, 20 years ago, this probably would never have been a conversation, but knowing that that's not our reality is much different than it was 20 years ago, they understand that, and they were, in essence, unanimously behind the idea of saying we need to have that back there so that Mr. Reinfeld, or whoever our next resource officer is in the future, would have access to that.
Also at last night's school board meeting, with tension definitely in the air, Sonny Hemphill was elected president. Laura Jakes was voted vice president. Hemphill was nominated by outgoing President Michelle Sandberg, seconded by Sarah Knox. Laura Jakes nominated herself for president, but received no support. Well, a mid-morning two-car accident right outside of our studios at the intersection of Chelan and Yakima happened yesterday morning. The four-door sedan was traveling on Chelan when it was T-boned on the passenger side of the car by an SUV traveling on Yakima Street. Following the collision, the SUV then veered towards Chelan County Fire District No. 1 building. No word on how the accident happened or who was at fault. More traffic news yesterday. Slick road conditions led to a 4-vehicle accident that happened early yesterday morning at the intersection of 10th Street and Kentucky in East Wenatchee. One driver slid on the snow, and that led to a chain reaction crash. One of the drivers was struck by another car as they got out of their own car. That's according to Officer Joe Hinkle of the East Wenatchee Police Department. There were no serious injuries, thank goodness for that. Hinkle says that location is dangerous, especially in bad weather.
It's a hill on both ends. It peaks at the top at the corner at 10th and North Kentucky. and it's just a bad spot. You can have icing conditions there, and then down at 10th and Eastmont not have them. So just that difference in elevation is enough to give you the conditions that you have there sometimes. It was just very slick this morning. You had a temperature below freezing, and I think there was a little bit of rain last night with snow. And then you get cars that are traveling on compact roadways, and you get the conditions that you have. So it's just important for people to slow down when they're driving in conditions like this.
Hinkle advises to be extra cautious when there is snow or ice on the roadways. Douglas County PUD commissioners have approved the sale of 2 acres of land located near the Rapids Switchyard in Rock Island to the Douglas County Fire District Number 2. The sale price totals $131,000. Chief Dave Baker says a new fire station is on schedule for development to replace existing Fire Station 3 in Rock Island.
Well, the timeline is going to be shortly after we get moving on Station 4, which is the new station out by the Old Bastion Bridge. It's going to be located on Northwest 35th and Northwest Cascade. We are getting ready, hopefully this winter, we will go out to bid on that property. As soon as that's completed, we will be spooling up the Rock Island property in development and design. So I would anticipate late next year we could be going out to bid for the Rock Island station once we get everything rolling with the Station 4.
Douglas County Fire District commissioners are scheduled, by the way, to finalize that sale when they meet later on today. Christmas comes early for scores of underprivileged kids in the Wenatchee Valley. For the 5th year in a row, Shop with Cops came to Hooked on Toys in Wenatchee, and I was there trying to keep out of the way anyway.
For the 5th big year, Shop with a Cop is back. It involves the Wenatchee Police Department, the East Wenatchee Police Department, the Department of Fish and Wildlife. State Patrol is here, Chelan County Sheriff, Douglas County Sheriff. It's a pretty simple and a pretty cool little program. 4th graders from the Wenatchee and East Wenatchee area are participating not only today, but also on the 13th. Earlier today, we spoke with Administrative Bureau Commander Edgar Reinfeld from the Wenatchee Police Department.
So welcome to Shop with Cops 2018 here at Hooked on Toys in Wenatchee. This is the 5th year running for this event, and today we are having 40 students from Wenatchee School District, from all the elementary schools, come through, be paired with an officer to shop, and then have all their presents wrapped as we see behind us, and spread the holiday cheer. This is possible because of generous donations from the North Central Washington Foundation, North Central Washington Community Foundation, Foundation for Youth Fund. On Thursday this week, we'll have 40 students from Eastmont School District, also from the elementary schools, who are selected by the schools to come here and have this experience.
A splendid time was had for all, and it's important for these kids to know that law enforcement officers aren't the bad guys. They're not the bullies. Most of these times when these kids have to deal with law enforcement officers, it's oftentimes a negative situation. This is a great way for the youngsters in our valley to break the ice with a law enforcement officer by going shopping. It's a smart move. For NCW Life News, I'm Dan Kuntz.
It was a lot of fun. It really was. Except I need a haircut. I noticed that when I was watching that piece. I got to get my haircut. Unbelievable view from Billy Goat. I'm tempted to just call Darci and say, go home and we'll just show this for the rest of the day. That's just incredible. Speaking of Hooked on Toys, it's one of the best places to participate in the Les Schwab Community Toy Drive. It's just jam-packed full of toys for kids of all ages. Of course, we're asking you to pick up a brand new unwrapped toy. You can pick it up any place, not necessarily Hooked on Toys, but Hooked on Toys is one of the drop-off locations. And then drop it off at Les Schwab in Wenatchee or East Wenatchee, Cashmere Valley Bank in Wenatchee or East Wenatchee. Our friends at Country 104.7 KKRV is participating. Works is a part of the whole program. And then we will get together, wrap them all up, and distribute it to the kids, the needy kids in our valley. Our goal is to help 1,000 kids this year have the Christmas that everybody should have. The Les Schwab Community Toy Drive, by the way, it's just down to its last couple days, so get her done. If you're just joining us, a couple of things we need to touch on. Once again, there is a 2-hour delay for all schools in the Wenatchee School District and a 1-hour delay for the Cashmere School District. Wenatchee schools, all schools, and the bus routes are 2 hours behind. For Cashmere School District, all schools and bus routes are 1 hour behind. And if you're traveling on the major mountain passes, 2 things to think about. Number 1, please use an automobile. And second of all, chains are required in both directions on the major mountain passes. I'm talking about I-90 Snoqualmie Pass, I'm talking about Blewett Pass, and I'm talking about Stevens Pass. Chains are required both directions on all 3 of those passes with heavy snow coming down. I-90 is also dealing with sleet. Of course, you do not need to chain up if you have an all-wheel drive car. It's 20 minutes after the hour. When we come back, sports, the obscure holiday, birthdays, today in history. Everybody's entitled to Mike McNulty's opinion, and Darci Christoferson, the administrator of the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival. Busy Wednesday. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 1 minute. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
Turn back the clocks and grab the ice melt. Winter weather is here. This is Corey at Rose Tractor. If you're looking for a reliable way to clear snow, look no further than Cub Cadet. For sidewalks and driveways, a Cub Cadet snow thrower will get the job done in a jiffy. For larger jobs, a Cub Cadet Challenger utility vehicle with a snow blade will handle about anything. You can depend on Cub Cadet for years of reliable performance, and we'll help you select the best model for your job at Rose Tractor, family-run business at the corner of 3rd and Rock Island Road in East Wenatchee.
21 minutes after the hour on a beautiful Wednesday morning. I'm Dan Kuntz. Let's do sports. The Eastmont Wildcats hosted the Moses Lake Chiefs Big 9 Wrestling. We had it right here on the NCW Life channel. 9 varsity girls matches, so they made the decision to wrestle the girls on one mat, the boys on another mat, and they did them both at the same time. It was an interesting broadcast, to say the least. In the girls' match, Eastmont prevailed 24-18. Pins by Daniela Hernandez, Giselle Keene, Destiny Ross Ledbetter, and Rihanna Valavinos. Moses Lake won the boys' match. They had no problems at all. 60-15 was the final there. Only 3 Wildcats, by the way, posted victories. 3 Wildcats posted victories. Eric Granstrom was Matt's side. He had the play-by-play here on the NCW Life channel.
Daniela Hernandez able to keep that head and arm and hold on for dear life. There's 25 seconds left in the round. Meanwhile, to the boys' match, and that was a quick one here as Eastmont's victory, the first of the night, comes. Adrian Vivanco able to get a pin with just 55 seconds into the first round. So the Vivanco gives Eastmont their first points of the night on a pin of Sergio Guzman at 145 pounds. Meanwhile, over on the girls' mat, back to the red mat, and a pin going to be whistled here for Daniela Hernandez for Eastmont. 2-point takedown and the pin. So Eastmont back-to-back pins on the mat on the girls' side. So Giselle Keene with a win in the first round by pin over Giselle Aparicio Cervantes at 130 pounds. Meanwhile, back to the boys' mat. And our blue mat here tonight, Cesar Cidio working against Carson Voss, as it is a 2-0 match still with Cidio on top, both literally and in the match. Trying to work that arm barred back around. Got it. Now he'll work to bar it up, and then he'll reach in the other side and try to walk it around to try to get a pin move here. He's now going to reach up, get that half Nelson, bring the wrestler back towards the mat with 35 seconds to go. Long time for Carson Voss to hang on here. The official moves in a better position so he can see, looking under, looking to see if both shoulders are pinned to the mat. That's why they call it a pin. Cidio looking for a victory here in the first round, and he gets it by pin. Max will be down to start round 2 at 195 pounds. Quickly gets to his feet, hand fight going on, then turns, gets the 1-point escape. Tried it, now the head and arm attempt, and who's going to get the advantage? Nobody. It'll be Prazer with a 2-point takedown. Prazer's got to be careful here with 20 seconds left and a 1-point escape. 17 seconds. Takedown will tie it for Ashley. Can't afford to stall Ken Prazer. 6 seconds, 5 seconds left. With 4, with 3, and Max Prazer is going to hold on for the victory by a score of 3-1. over Everett Ashley at 195 pounds.
By the way, the Wenatchee Panther grapplers were down in Yakima to take on Eisenhower. We don't know who won because they haven't posted the score yet. Eric will have that for sports in the evening news. The Wenatchee Panther girls bowling team emerged from Eastmont Lanes yesterday with a share of the Big Nine lead, a 63-pin win over previously unbeaten Eisenhower. The Panthers outpaced the Cadets in the first game 986 to 841. Eisenhower came back, took the second game 919 to 837. Wenatchee won the first Baker 171 to 163. The Cadets won the second Baker 174 to 166. But the match goes to the Panthers by the virtue of the total pin count. Jeff Levitt tells us high scores for the day. Kyla Hankins with a 255. Wow. Jessica Holbrook rolled a 201. Jaden Thompson had a 192. Hannah Johnson had a 185. Emily Groth a 179. Both teams are now tied atop the standings at 6-1. Boys basketball last night. To the Les Schwab Prep scoreboard we go. Chelan was able to use a stingy defense to force turnovers. Got transition buckets early and often. And Cascade takes a better, gets down. Chelan knocks off Cascade 67 to 34. The Mountain Goats, by the way, led by the 21 points of Connor Wilson. At Waterville, the Shockers, no match for the visiting Manson Trojans as the Manson Trojans win 57 to 20. Hey, Cashmere basketball fans, you have something to look forward to next weekend. It's the Crunch Pack Classic, the first annual Crunch Pack Classic. The top 4 programs in the state, some of the best girls basketball players on the West Coast. This will be cool. It'll be Cashmere, Snohomish, WF West, and Mount Spokane. The Bulldogs are a 1A school. WF West is a 2A school. Snohomish and Mount Spokane are 3A schools. The games will feature Snohomish and WF West on Friday, December 21st at 6, followed by Cashmere and Mount Spokane at 7:30. Then on Saturday, Mount Spokane and Snohomish at 4, Cashmere and WF West at 5:30. Admission at the door will be $6 for adults, $4 for seniors and students with an ASB card. That is going to be some really good basketball. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Wednesday morning. 27 degrees outside of our studios. Let's do the obscure holiday of the day today. Today is Poinsettia Day, a plant obviously a well-recognized symbol of the Christmas holiday. It's an official holiday. It was declared by Congress. There's a reason for that. Joel Roberts Poinsett was the very first U.S. ambassador to Mexico. He died on December 12, 1851. He brought the plants back to his plantation in Greenville, South Carolina. When his term was done as ambassador to Mexico, he got all of these plants, which was native to Mexico, brought a bunch of them back, put them in his greenhouse, grew them, and then gave them away to his friends and family as holiday gifts over the Christmas holidays, and it kind of grew from there. It is an obvious, first of all, it's a beautiful plant, and it has the Christmas colors, green and red. However, quick heads up, especially for you pet owners out there, the poinsettia plant is poisonous, all right? Don't eat it. Don't let your cats or dogs eat it. It's not good for you. It's pretty, it just doesn't taste very good. That's the nice thing about that poisonous plant. It tastes awful, so nobody wants to eat it anyway. Happy Poinsettia Day. The key is how do you keep them alive? I've never been able to do that. 28 minutes after the hour. Let's do today in history. Happy birthday, Pennsylvania, the second state. That's the Pennsylvania state flag. Doesn't do much for me. Pennsylvania became the second state to ratify the Constitution 5 days after Delaware did so back in 1787. That makes Pennsylvania 231 years old. Pennsylvania, of course, is the Keystone State. It's not even a state. Pennsylvania is one of the four states that refer to themselves as commonwealths. Pennsylvania, Virginia, Kentucky, and Massachusetts are commonwealths, not states. A couple of fun facts about Pennsylvania. For one very uncomfortable season during World War II, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Pittsburgh Steelers merged and became the Steagles. The idea was to keep the NFL alive in Pennsylvania because all of the able-bodied professional football players were wearing olive drab and fighting overseas, and they didn't want to just shut down football altogether, so they just had one team for Pennsylvania, the Steagles. They combined the Eagles and the Steelers. By the way, it was not a very popular move, and they only did it for one season. Pennsylvania, like most of the industrial northern states, keeps losing population, and by losing population, they're losing electoral votes. They had 38 electoral votes in the 1910s and 1920s. Now they only have 20 electoral votes, and with the upcoming 2020 census, they're going to be down to 19 electoral votes. Still the Keystone State, Pennsylvania, 231 years ago. December 12, 2000 Bush prevails. The Supreme Court, in a 5-4 very controversial decision, stopped the Florida recount, and they went with George Bush, and there you go. It had to end sometime, and they finally pulled the plug after about a month of legal wrangling. In the case of Bush v. Gore, the Supreme Court ruled in Bush. He prevailed, and it was on to the presidency. And finally, at 30 minutes after the hour, the bottom of the hour, let's do some birthdays. Francis Albert Sinatra was born on this date in 1915. Boy, he was about as good as it got. Great singer, great actor, producer, probably the greatest single singer of the 20th century. 100 years from now, when we're all dead and buried, they're not going to remember Frank Sinatra's TV appearances or his motion pictures. It's going to be about the music. And people think Frank Sinatra was just a singer. He was a lot more than that. He liked to sing live with his band. Elvis did the same thing. He didn't just, he was leading the band, not just singing around the band. The legend, Frank Sinatra, was born in the state in 1915. And Rory Kennedy is 50 years old. Rory Kennedy was the 10th and youngest child of Robert and Ethel Kennedy, and very much a victim of the Kennedy curse. Of course, she never knew her father. Her father was assassinated before she was born. Must be hard to begin life knowing that your dad was murdered. Her brother David died of a drug overdose. She was skiing with her brother Michael on New Year's Eve 1997 when Michael skied into a tree and was killed right in front of his sister. Of course, her cousin, John F. Kennedy Jr., was flying to Rory's wedding back in 1999 when his plane went down. Rory Kennedy, who makes documentary films, and she makes them good, is 50 years old today. Hey, you know somebody who's celebrating a local birthday? Get your local birthday to me. Go to our Facebook page and private message me, and I'll do my very best to get your local celebrity's birthday on the air. Speaking of local celebrities, everybody is entitled to Mike McNaughty's opinion. The topic today, the mystery of life. Deep stuff from Mike, probably too deep for me. And then the administrator of the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival, Darci Christoferson, in the house. Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, Wednesday, right here on the NCW Life channel.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by LocalTel. Las Posadas is this Saturday from 7 to 8 p.m. at the Numerica Performing Arts Center. This free event features music, a piñata, tamales and refreshments, and more. Holiday Teas at the Wells House is this Saturday and Sunday on the Wenatchee Valley College campus. Don your hats and gloves, bring friends, and take tea at this light luncheon. For more information and other community events, visit ncwlife.com.
What's your auto mocha emergency?
It's a Paprika mocha with whip.
The espresso shakes are my most favorite because I can get any flavor. Peanut butter chocolate for pita.
Definitely the espresso shakes.
My favorite is the mocha for pitas.
A peach Red Bull.
Bob's Burgers and Brew in Wenatchee. Only the best.
So this is where we have our offices, and we meet with people for one-on-one appointments and discuss, what's a suitable health insurance, what's a suitable drug plan. And by the way, when it does come to prescription drug plans, that is the area where people most often are in an inappropriate fit, because we've learned that our clients hate to change coverage, therefore they'll keep something far beyond its suitability. So definitely each year, please recheck your prescriptions.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Bob's Burgers and Brew in Wenatchee. Only the best.
Thanks to the help I received at Goodwill,
I have a job. I'm working now, thanks to Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill. Thank you, Goodwill.
Goodwill's Employment Connection Center is a free walk-in job search assistance program designed to get you back to work. When you donate to or shop at Goodwill, you're really helping people find work.
Thank you.
Goodwill, there's more behind this door.
NCW Life Channel is proud to present the Spotlight on Business. We're going behind the scenes to bring you the story of local businesses throughout North Central Washington. How did they get started? And why are they so successful? We'll answer these and other questions each week with Spotlight on Business, Sundays through Fridays on the NCW Life Channel.
This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. I've been reading a book by Roman Catholic theologian Richard Rohr. Now, I have to say, I do think a lot of Rohr's questions and the theological dilemmas he faces would be clear to him if he was married, had a wife, and had kids. Okay, now, no disrespect to the Roman Catholic Church, but both of the mysteries and meaning of life and questions and stuff like that they might have been made clear to me simply because I'm married and I have a family. Now, learning to live and get along with someone else, particularly as someone who is as different and wonderful as Rosie is for me, has caused me to grow and change in ways I otherwise never would have. That's pretty simple, actually. If the Roman Catholic Church would just let their priests get married and have kids, they'd understand our life a whole lot better. I mean, just like you and me. Well, that is, if you're not a Catholic priest anyway. Well, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
At Apple Valley Honda, we're a family dealership, and we love seeing friends and family during the holiday season. Happy Honda Days is back at Apple Valley Honda, and we have low finance rates and special lease deals. Hi, this is Marilyn from Apple Valley Honda, and I personally invite you to stop by and take a look at the all-new lineup Honda has to offer. And don't forget about our lifetime warranty.
Hey, we're out of eggnog.
I'll be right there. From our family to yours, Merry Christmas.
You don't want to see this happen. It's the oil light on your car. Oil is the lube of life for your car's engine. At Alignment Pros and Express Lube, they pour the best oil your car deserves. Expect fast, friendly, superior service in a clean environment. They'll change your oil and perform a 21-point inspection while you enjoy the comfort of their amazing waiting room. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
Ho, ho, ho! The Christmas season is upon us, Wenatchee Valley, and Collins is here to fulfill your gift-giving and fashion needs. Bring in your list and we will assist you in finding the perfect gift and wrap it up for you. Tommy Bahama, popcorn treats, yummy caramels for the guys, Brighton jewelry, handbags, gifts for all the women on your list. Cashmere scarves, sweaters, cozy jammies, gowns, blankies, socks. Gift cards are always a great gift. Beautiful holiday styles for your special occasions. Awesome service at Collins Fashions, where fun meets fashion in downtown Wenatchee.
Ho, ho, ho! Santa wants you to shop at the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center. They have a huge variety of fun Christmas items in their Christmas cottage. There's so much to choose from, and it changes day to day. Santas and snowmen, holiday dishes and decor, village pieces and ornaments. To add to your collection or start something new, you can't beat the prices. What's old is new again for you in the Christmas cottage at the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center.
Minutes after the hour on this edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. She's a regular contributor to this program, one of my absolute favorite people, but she couldn't make it. So instead we have Darci Christoferson. I'm kidding. I love you. Darci Christoferson, the administrator of the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival. Before we go anywhere, look at that shot behind you of the Wenatchee Valley.
I know, and I was in the green room. It was, the sun was coming up.
Yeah, we you know, something we've never talked about. I know your history pretty well. Eastmont graduate class of 1985, but you've never really talked about yourself. You're here, you're vested in the Valley, you're not going anywhere. I know you worked sales for the Nickel for a while and some other stuff. For those people who don't know, a little background on you.
Oh my gosh.
Because I've never actually asked you. I think people just take it for granted about you. And they, first of all, never take Darci for granted, but a little something about Darci.
Well, I did graduate from Wenatchee, or Eastmont High School, sorry, not Wenatchee High School, in 1985, and I was Apple Blossom Queen, and then I went to Wenatchee Valley College and got my AA. Then I went on to Eastern Washington University, go Eagles, and graduated with a Bachelor in Science in Communications and Public Relations. Came home because I didn't have a job right out of college like most people don't, and worked at Maurice's for a while.
I forgot about that, yeah.
I worked at Maurice's all through college, and also was a waitress for all through college.
Whatever it takes to eat.
Whatever it takes. Sometimes I wish I was a waitress again. That was so much fun coming home with all those tips. But then I was working at Maurice's, and Connie Whitman saw me and said, you know, you need to apply at Kissin. You'd be a really good salesperson. So I applied at Kissin Country, and that was my first sales job. And back then, it was the only country station. So we had 50% of the market, so that was great, easy sell. And then I continued on to the Nickel ads, and back then, it was awesome. Had some great car dealerships that helped me through it, and then got this job in 1994.
Yeah, it's hard to believe you've been at it that long.
Yeah, I was on the board of directors, and they asked me if I wanted this job, and I'm like, sure.
Was that about the time that the Apple Blossom Festival became its own entity and dissolved itself from the Chamber of Commerce? Was that the same time?
When I was on the board, we made the decision to separate from the Chamber. So when I was hired, I was an employee of the Chamber for 3 months, and then became our own after that. So.
And boy, am I glad we did that.
It was a very good decision for us.
Well, it needed to happen. It had grown to the point where it needed a full-time staff and administration to put this festival on. It's a ton of work.
I can't imagine. I mean, it worked for a while, but I can't imagine that now. So.
Looking at the valley behind your beautiful head, was there any thought at all right after graduating from Eastern and coming back and scrambling for a job and trying to make ends meet, of leaving the valley, or saying, no, I'm here, I'm a lifer? Any thought about that?
No, I wanted to leave.
You did?
I did. You know, every 20-year-old wants to leave. But I came home to save money for the big job somewhere. But once I was home, I kind of didn't want to leave, definitely. We all love this valley, and you forget how wonderful it is until you come home and you're like, okay, I need to stay here.
Yeah.
So.
And you and I are the same generation. That's what a lot of my classmates, you graduate and you go off to college, you go off to maybe in the armed forces or whatever, and see you later, small little Wenatchee town. I'll see you in 10 years at the reunion, and sure enough, they meet somebody, they get married, and they decide to have a career and settle down and start a family, and they just kind of come right back home again.
Yep, we have 4 kids right now that are either graduate from high school or in college, and they don't want to come back at all. So
don't never say never, kids.
They will.
Never say never.
They will.
Talk to me. Last Saturday night, Oneonta and Star Ranch had their annual Christmas party. A huge organization, by the way. Great people. I love them all. And little surprise for Dalton Thomas. Talk about that.
Yes, it was so fun. And this is how I do it every year. The Apple Citizen of the Year award is chosen by people in the fruit industry, and they actually give me a list in advance. So I knew for 5 years who the Apple Citizen of the Year have been for the last 5 years. So I got my new list a couple months ago, and Dalton, of course, was the first person on that list. So. We've kind of been planning this for about, 3 or 4 months, but we surprised him at his Christmas party, and this is a little earlier. Oh, there's a picture of us right now. And that's Sandy Coop writer, who,
hey, Coop.
If you saw the press release, Dalton gave $750,000 to the college to redo and refurbish the baseball field for the Wenatchee Valley College Knights and the Apple Sox. So that's why we had Sandy there to help present that award. But Dalton's kind of a unsung hero a little bit. A lot of people don't know what he's done for our community financially, and he's done a lot. So and of course the Apple industry, he did tons. So if you have a chance, be sure and go to our website and check out his bio, because it was too long to read. at the Christmas party. But there wasn't a dry eye in the room. You know, we surprised him, and we did it early because he travels so much now that he's retired. It's like, well, we better do the Christmas party because who knows where he's going to be the rest of the year. So it was really fun. And it was fun. Heidi Thomas, who was a princess with me, was there. And then Michael Gavin, or Michael Kuskey Gavin, who was also princess with us, was there. So it was kind of...
And the first thing I thought when we got the press release from Darci, I said, this has got to be wrong. Dalton must have been honored 20 years ago. It's just...
I know. I did the same thing, and a lot of people did. So I think that's one of the reasons why this group is like, where's Dalton? So it was a huge honor.
And once again, the Apple Blossom Festival plays no real significant role in naming this.
I just make the party happen.
Right.
You know, they call me and say, hey, can you do this? And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So I do the press release and do the research, and that's what we do.
Kudos to Dalton. That's really neat.
Awesome.
And he'll be honored at the All Service Club luncheon on the 1st, and he'll be riding in the Stimilk Growers Grand Parade on the 4th. I'm trying to think. We've had 99 Washington State Apple Blossom Festivals, so this would be the one coming up would be number 100, I believe.
I think it's our 100.
This is so exciting.
It's really
the party never ends. Is that
party never ends? Yep.
So
and it does never end.
Yeah.
So we're excited. We have our documentary that we're working on. We'll be seeing a rough draft of it here, probably the end of probably the first part of January, and we just announced when our premiere will be. So it will be April 20th. So those of you that want to see the documentary for the very first time, it'll be April 20th at the Performing Arts Center, $15 to get in, and $25 for a DVD, and you can actually purchase those online right now.
Oh, okay. So in advance orders.
In advance orders, we're doing that with our DVD. We're doing that for the festival ball. Anything and everything that's happening except for pageant is online right now.
Being in a visual medium as I am, I can safely tell you, Jeff and the crew at North 40, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And they're making a film. It's a lot of work.
And it's overwhelming. I mean, we went to the library once just to kind of look at, what do you call it, the microfilm, because they only have stuff from 1970 on. So we had to go through and look at some microfilms. And it's overwhelming. And so much has changed, and so much has stayed the same, and it's just a lot. So it'll be really interesting. I'm anxious to see.
I'm interested to see how they tell the story.
I know, me too.
That's the thing I'm interested in. I like documentaries, and that's the thing I'm looking forward to the most.
Yeah, so I'm still looking for one more sponsor, but of course, as everyone knows, Stimilk Growers is the presenting sponsor, and then we have 10 other sponsors that have added up to $125,000 in sponsorships to make this documentary happen. So that's just a crazy amount that we got in like a month. So
incredible stuff.
That is.
Let's go Christmas shopping. Let's go to the Apple Blossom place and go Christmas shopping. This is a perfect gift. A perfect gift. There's all kinds of, I love this, by the way.
I love that one too. I just
it's
wore
one of
that
my
one the other
absolute
day.
favorites. Apple Blossom is a great place to get your Christmas gift for that hard to buy somebody on your list.
Yep. Just go to appleblossom.org and go to store and click on clothing and hats, and you'll see all of our new stuff. We have the sweatshirt still online if people want to get that, but we added a couple of new things. I think they're a little bit more hip than what we've had in the past.
So I can't legally own it.
So you cannot,
not
wear
hip.
it. Yeah. But some really cool hats, some t-shirts, some long sleeve t-shirts, some hoodies, different type of hoodie. So be sure and check it out. It's a great time for you to do that. And I think if you order now, you'll be able to get it in time for Christmas.
Now, can you just go to the Apple Blossom office and buy it too?
We don't do that as much. We do that during the festival, but not during the holidays. It's just easier for everybody, and it can actually be delivered to the office, and you can pick it up there, so there's no shipping for you. So
the only reason I brought that up is that they redid the interior of the office, and it's so much better than it was before.
It is, and they've been working on the outside.
Yeah, I noticed
too.
that.
Yeah, so they're working on painting the outside of the trim on the outside. So they've been working really hard on that, but now it won't be painted until spring. So.
It's fun to work in a historic building that's been updated. It still has that character and that charm from the original Carnegie building, which was built probably 100 years ago.
It's older than the festival.
Yeah, so.
I can't remember the exact date, but it's owned by the city. So it was one of their buildings that definitely needed some love. So, and as you know, whenever you do a remodel, you find other things that need to be done. So that kind of
But it's fun to go to work in that kind of environment, and that kind of that feng shui that the building has and the interior has. It's neat.
Yeah. It is neat. And it'll be really fun for people when they come home to see it. And we still have people that come in. I remember when this was a museum. I remember this was a library.
I remember when it was a museum, yeah.
So we have a lot of people that come in that still.
People remember when it was the library?
Yeah.
You have dead people who come to your office?
Well, people say that my mom said
okay.
But, you know, they could still be alive. They could be.
The vetting process has begun for the Royal Court. We'll talk about that and more with Darci Christoferson of the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival. When we come back, you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Hi, Justin here, owner of Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere. Club Crow is your place for famous blues, brews, and barbecue. We are your one-stop bar and grill, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Looking for a fun night out? Join us at Club Crow Saturday nights. We have live bands to rock the night away. Club Crow is bringing comedy to Cashmere. Check out our Facebook page for upcoming dates. Live jam session first Sunday of every month. Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere, the coolest place in town.
Collins Fashions has your lifestyle in mind. Casual to special occasions, head-to-toe styling, foundations to shoes, jewelry, scarves, handbags, awesome gifts too. Denim brands from Liverpool, Not Your Daughter's Jeans, French dressing, all fits and sizes. Slacks from Joseph Ribkoff, Renoir, Tribal, and Elliott Lauren. Easy care and flattering. Stylish sweaters from Icelandic, Curio, and Tribal. Great selection of cashmere sweaters and scarves too. We always have you in mind at Collins Fashions in downtown Wenatchee.
Hey everyone, Fletcher and Amy Ellington here from Live It Up. In the investment world, ROI stands for Return on Investment. Well, how does better health, better wealth, and better relationships sound for ROI? Join us every week right here on NCW Life and learn how to invest in the most important asset, you.
We're going to answer your questions and provide some weekly inspiration so you can create a life that you love. Join us on Live It Up.
And we are back on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan Kuntz, Darci Christoferson. Last time we talked to you last month, the process began to select the Royal Court for the Centennial. You had your mandatory informational meetings. The ladies came, the parents came, the info was given out, and where are we at this point?
Well, we started with about 50 that came to the meeting, and we are now at 32. So we have 20 from Wenatchee School District, 12 from the Eastmont School District. Yesterday we took the big candidate photo at Parsons, so I'll be getting that today. So as soon as I get that, I'll send it off to you. And of course it'll be on our website too, of the top 32 candidates. They do have their speech topics, so right now they are working on their speeches. And then they will give their speeches to their student body on January 9th. And 50% of the vote is student body, and then the other 50% is out-of-town judges. And then we will announce our top 10, 5 from Eastmont and 5 from Wenatchee on the evening of January 9th at 6 o'clock. You usually broadcast live.
We usually have that
at
for
that
you.
event. So we're real excited. I mean, it's so crazy. Yesterday I was looking at all of them. I'm like, oh my gosh, our 100th royalty is right here. Our 100th royalty. It's crazy.
That's just insane.
Yeah.
That's just
so
crazy.
They're really great girls. You know, I just can tell by their personalities. They talk to each other. Some years at the group photo they don't talk. You know, it's competitive and there's a competition going on. But these girls all were real excited to meet each other, and so it'll be a good process, I think.
And then after they whittle it down to the final 10, then it really begins.
Yep.
I mean, their life becomes a whirlwind over the next month or so leading up to the Cashmere Valley Bank Royalty Selection Pageant.
Yeah, I call it boot camp. It's basically boot camp.
It's really what it is.
It really is what it is. It really is what it is. January 10th, it all starts, and they pretty much get coached up to get them ready for pageant from that time until pageant.
When you say coached up, can you be a little more specific?
Yeah, we have a lot of volunteers, past royalty, media people that work with them for 3 weeks. So they'll have makeup lessons, etiquette lessons, speech lessons, presence lessons, hair, anything and everything to get them ready for pageant and for royalty. So, you know, we want them to be ready to be royalty the day after pageant. There should be no more teaching. So it's a lot. It's pretty intense. But we do everything right after school. We try not to do anything during school. And it is kind of rough because it's in January, right before finals, but we don't do anything during finals. So we're very lucky to have these people that volunteer their time to help these top 10 girls, because it's something that you will take with you forever, whether you're in royalty or not.
They're absolute experts in their individual fields, but they also understand that they're dealing with 17 and 18-year-old girls, so they understand that balance.
Yes, they do. They do. We have great people. We have about 12 people that, in the end, help them with this process. So.
And the amazing thing is to see the maturity and the growth in just that 1 month period between the time they're top 10 to that magical Saturday night at the Wenatchee High School auditorium. They change inside and out dramatically, don't they?
It's my favorite part. We do mock panel interviews. So we have a group of community members that work with them on the panel interviews. And there's always a few that, you know, freak out and are nervous about that. But when they nail it on pageant day, it's the best. And that I always get emotional and teary back there going, oh my gosh, I can't believe she did so good. It was so great. So every year there's 2 or 3 that it's like, wow, this was one of the best things for them.
We keep mentioning pageant night, Kashmir Valley Bank Royalty Selection Night. When can people, it's usually Martin Luther King Jr. Day, is that correct?
So January, the top 10 will be announced on January 9th, and then tickets will go on sale January 14th at 9 a.m. You can come into the office and purchase them at 2 South Chelan Street, or you can purchase them online, which is what the majority of the people do now. Back in the old days, we used to have a line going all the way down Washington Street, people freezing, and I used to bring them donuts, remember? Donuts and coffee, because they were waiting in line to get their pageant
Selling
tickets.
them some ads, a flight schedule on Kissing. I'm kidding.
So now they get to, you know, do it from home.
Yeah,
most people aren't working that day, so they get to order them online.
I have a feeling, it's in my gut, but I have a feeling this is going to sell out. The Wenatchee High School Auditorium seats about 950, I believe. I think it's going to sell out.
I think so too, and we are working on pageant. We have a big script writing meeting tonight, our first one. So even though we don't have 10 girls, we're already working on our script and ideas. Amy,
do they have a theme? There's usually a theme to the pageant.
We do have a theme, but I cannot tell you the theme. It's a secret. But Amy Mowbray with the Wenatchee Central Lions Club is our pageant director this year. And then our MCs are Gavin Geringer and Nicole Hankins, who was a queen in 2003.
I was going to say, that name sounds familiar to me.
So you may be seeing a few past royalty coming home or coming back for pageant.
And of course, the sitting royalty, they're all off to college now. They all come back.
They do, and they're far. You know, Jesse's in California, and Sophie's in New York, and then of course Greta's at Wazoo. So,
but they're all
coming home. They've all told me they're going to come home, and actually it's nice because Sophie will be home a little later, so she'll be able to watch the top 10 speeches. So it's always fun to have one of them home for that.
Is it cool if we show up and televise it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
that would work for me totally.
We just set it live on TV. So
you mean
we're
the
in.
speeches?
No, not the speeches. I mean the actual pageant. We can do that.
Oh,
can we do that?
you already do that. I think
we've done it for a few years, as a matter of fact.
You have, and you've done a great job.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So we'll be televising the Kashmir. Officially, we'll be doing the Kashmir Valley Bank Royalty Selection Pageant again. It's a fantastic show. For one reason only, we get Eric Granstrom in a 3-piece suit, and that's worth it right there.
He loves that. Everybody thinks he's like a sports guy, but he loves
it. He's one of those.
He's one of our helpers. He helps them with media.
Yes, and I'm sure Julie will be involved as usual.
Yes, yes.
So
another former queen.
It's a lot of fun, and it's a magical night, and it flies by.
I know. So and we'll be doing Most Original Speech again, where you can vote online. So if they're watching it NCW Life for Most Original Speech, you can go onto our app, which is sponsored by Crunch Pack, and pick Most Original Speech.
We're out of time, and we didn't even talk about applications for all things Apple Blossom related. I'm just going to take you to their website, appleblossom.org, appleblossom.org. Everything. Everything that you need to know. By the way, the website's looking really good.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Allie's doing our website now, and she's doing a great job.
One of my favorite people.
Yes.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Merry Christmas.
I'll see you next year.
Merry Christmas.
I'll see you tomorrow. Till then, bye-bye.